Hey, you guys, welcome back to my obsession. This is Stella, and what you see here are two feldspars by CJRB. And what I would like to do is a comparison. So I have one here from a subscriber, his name is Richard, and then I have the one that I have currently in my collection, and I believe this is an exclusive from White Mountain Knives or what's Smoky Mountain Knives. So it's one or the other, but I know it's an exclusive because it has that burgundy micarta on it. I just recently put skiff bearings in this thing too, so it created such a beautiful, smooth action on this. Oh man, it's so nice. But what inspired me to do that was this guy right here. The action is phenomenal on this thing. So this has the black coated AR RPM 9 blade on there, and this one it in comparison with the one I have, it's so different yet so the same. Obviously, so what's cool about it is here. Let me just show you this amazing action. It's like you can't. I don't know. There's certain actions that just when you are, say you're fidgeting with it or you're playing with your knife, whatever, man, this is one of those actions that is just phenomenal. And that actually inspired me to, because my action on this never got to that phase where it was just so loose and broken in that it feels just perfect in your hand, on this one. So when I actually opened up this, I was surprised actually because I didn't know what I was getting into when I opened up the box from Richard. So it was so cool. And now I am going to be carrying this a heck of a lot more because I have the skiffs in it. And it doesn't drop shut or anything like that, but it's not stiff anymore. And that's the thing that was really bothering me about this knife before. So yeah. So anyway, in comparison, you can see that the micarta handles are contoured, and the G10 handles are actually flat. But the G10 handles, they're not uncomfortable at all. They're actually almost more comfortable. And I don't know if that makes sense because, anytime something is rounded off and you squeeze it, you would think that it would be more comfortable than a flat handled knife. But I don't know. It's weird because this is very, very comfortable, but there is a level of comfort that you get to with this one that's just not present with the contoured handles. So this is actually, I'm thinking, I saw this actual version on sale somewhere, but I don't think it had the red pivot cap or the red pivot collar. I think it had the orange. So, but I saw this variant. I don't know. I might not get it, but I might. I don't know yet. But these two, it just goes to show you that CJRB makes beautiful knives, and they really do have great action most of the time. All of my other CJRBs have great action. This was the only one that came so stiff. I just grabbed another CJRB just to show you what, yeah, this Gobi is so comfortable in the hand. And I know I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. This thing reminds me of a Sinkovich design. So I don't know. I just wonder if any of you agree with me out there. Let me know. Just comment below if you think this reminds you of a Sinkovich design. I can't remember what. Oh, you know what? There's a zero tolerance that is being sold where I work, and I swear it's almost the same exact shape. So I love Sinkovich designs. However, I don't really buy a lot of Kershaws and zero tolerance knives just because I'm not a huge fan, but I love a lot of zero tolerance knives. Like there's this one with the titanium handles and it has like red standoffs. It's a beautiful knife, and it's a Sinkovich design, and I love that thing. But when I hold it in my hand, it's so small. And I see out there so many men with way larger hands than my own, and I see them carrying it around, and I'm like, but aren't you uncomfortable? So it's just the thing with me. Like if it doesn't fit right in my hand, I just can't go with it. The flow is not going with me. So anyway, this is another CJRB that I wanted to show you guys the wonderful action on. Also a donation from Richard. So the Gobi is actually a donation from Richard, and the feldspar he's letting me borrow so that I can review it, and I'm so glad he loaned it to me. This thing's awesome. It's great. Let's get one more so we can do a little bit of a size comparison, because these are the regular size feldspar, not the small or the large. And this is the Gobi. There's only one size Gobi as far as I know. And as you can see, it's just slightly longer. And this is pretty much pivot to pivot. So let's see if I can get a more straight on view. Let's see. Oops. See? That way you can see what I mean. Here we go. So I added to the mix the scoria, which I always thought was basically the feldspar, but the better version. So like we'll say the F2, but it is the scoria. So as a size comparison, the scoria is almost exactly the same size. It just has a little bit more slender carry. So let's do this. That's a little bit easier. Yeah, as you can see, the feldspar with the contoured handles is a lot thicker, very, very much thicker. But they are pretty much the same shape. There's just this flipper tab here, which I would also like to delete. I'm going to be doing a couple flipper tab deletes in my collection, and I can't wait. It's going to be great. So shout out to Jake from Ohio State. He's going to be he offered to do them for me for free, actually. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, this also has thumb studs though. So I was like, well, I think they should have just stuck with the thumb studs, I mean, the feldspar, it just has perfect action. It doesn't need a flipper tab. So as far as this being kind of like the F2, they didn't need to put the flipper tab there, but I think I know what they were going for, and they were trying to reach possibly a larger audience, or, just throw a little more diversity in their designs there. So as you can see though, this is nearly the same exact shape. So yeah. Now with the other variant, so this is possibly why the ergos feel a little better with the flat scales too, because they're a lot less thick. Just to show you that comparison. So the feldspar with the contoured handles is a bit thicker. So that's funny. It almost looks a tad bit longer, or shorter, I should say, than the G10. But I'm not positive about that. Let me see here. No, I was just holding it the weird way. So anyway, you have the two feldspars and the scoria, and they look so similar. It's uncanny, just crazy. Yeah, I love the scoria. I have to say, I love this feldspar now that I put the skiffs in it. I also love the flat scales on this one, because the ergos just do something completely different. It feels like a different knife altogether. So it's always nice to have a different knife or another knife. And then the scoria, which is my favorite. I love this knife. It's great. This has like the perfect ergos, and I would have to put this in one of the best knives of last year. This is definitely in the top 5 budget knives of last year. So the scoria, no doubt in my mind, should absolutely be on there. This had such style and class when they put this thing out, It has the titanium thumb studs and pivot collar, and it just looks slick. And with the blade being in that black coating, and oh man, this is a beautiful knife. I love this thing. But I'm obsessed with this burgundy carbon or my micarta, as you can see. Obviously, I cannot get away from this stuff. I have a bunch of artisans with it too. So, but we'll do that another day. And then we have, just for comparison purposes, the More Milea. So against the regular, as you can see, it's quite a bit larger, but it's still so ergonomically wonderful. This thing is one of my favorite knives of this year, no doubt. And still, the little Milea is so awesome. I love this little knife. You know, I don't carry it enough, but I have so many new knives to carry all the time. It's like I don't get to carry my old ones as much as I'd like, except for there's quite a few. Well, there's a few on my ultimate list that I will put out one day. My ultimate daily carry knives. So, you know, just I wanted to do like the thickness comparison. So, as you can see, the feldspar and the More Milea are just, there's quite a big difference between the thickness there. And I think they masterfully made the More Milea, and they did not mess with the integrity of the design at all. This thing is spot on what you would get if you were to blow up the little Milea. So, awesome knife. Definitely recommend this one, you guys. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of subscribers actually have this. I've heard a lot about it. My knives are reflecting in the sunshine, so my cat is going nuts in the background, and it's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. One more thing I forgot to show you is the More Milea has, well, my version has a stonewashed finish, which I believe CJRB does beautifully. And then I have this one, which I was really happy to show you the satin finish on this one, which they also do very beautifully. If it were a little bit cleaner, but beautiful satin finish and the beautiful stonewash. Gorgeous. Yeah, that. All right, let's get some last looks in closing here. I like to show off the stickers there. Let's do that. I am not quite finished with my background yet. As you can see, it's still rather raw, which I'm kind of happy about because the contrast that you see sometimes it comes off pretty well, I think. What do you guys think of this new background? Any suggestions on how I should finish this? I'm thinking what I will do is I'm going to leave this like raw the way it is, and then I'm going to sand this whole section here because there are splinters that can happen. I already had one, so I'm going to get rid of all that, the splintery stuff, and then I'm going to possibly just throw like a laminate, or actually, you know who would be perfect to give me some ideas is Hawaii Knife and Gear. Shout out. What would you do with this background, buddy? I have a surprise that I actually have coming up pretty soon from Hawaii Knife and Gear too. Stay tuned. But last looks. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, the flat scales on this feldspar are nice. They're very nice in the hand. Very, very, very nice in the hand. It is a little thicker. However, when they contour the scales, they just do something, they do something right. But when you have larger hands, I think that you would prefer, it would make sense to me that you would prefer the contoured scales. So if you have larger hands, then I would go with and you just want the regular size feldspar, definitely go with the exclusive or the micarta versions that they have out there. And then if you have smaller hands, I definitely would suggest the G10 or the G10 scales with you know, in whatever variant you choose. Because of course they have many colors out there and many choices to choose from. So, what I would, my next conquest in the CJRB family is I really would love to get my hands on the Dylan Mallory Centros Mini, the Mini Centros. That thing looks so perfect to me, and I just want it in my collection so bad. I was trying to get the special version that he put out on Instagram, but I think he only made 50 of those, but I could be wrong on that. But I never got to it, so unfortunately I missed out on that. I am hoping, however, when it does break in stores, I can get my hands on one before they sell out. So stay tuned also for that one. So anyway, last looks on these perfect little everyday users, man. The Feldspar regular size is amazing. I love it. Now, if you are the type of person that would prefer a smaller knife, I would totally recommend the Feldspar small, even though I've never had one. I've seen reviews on it and it looks like the perfect size small EDC or backup, whatever you prefer. So I would definitely recommend the small for you, especially if you do have smaller hands or you do like smaller knives. I like regular size knives. That's why I got this one. So, plus it was an exclusive and it has that beautiful burgundy micarta. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go, and that has been the Feldspar comparison. And this is the G10, the micarta, and it was a lot of fun to carry these. Especially this one with the skiff bearings and this one with the amazing ergos and amazing action. So yeah, I just love the Feldspar, you guys. Definitely recommend it. And I will see you soon. Funny. He sent me this one too, and I just realized it. So he had the same Feldspar all this time, but let me show you the difference. His has this beautiful action that obviously he worked it out and it's just there, but mine never did. Well, now it does because of the skiffs, but that's so weird. I just love this Feldspar. It's so amazing. So there's the comparison. Okay,